some of Crendor's fishing interviews. I heard they're legendary. I don't fully know what I'm up for. You know, I don't fully know what I'm about to get into. But here's my expectations. In a mythical world, Crendor swoops down in a crystallized dragon steed, swoops down, picks us up. Waka. You know what? Here he is. Yo.
Yo.
I was just telling you what my expectations were.
What are your expectations?
So this is my first time playing a horde character. So I'm expecting like a crystal 100-foot dragon to swoop down, grab me by the claws. You're riding it. You've got 2 fishing poles and you're like, we're going to the rarest fishing spot in all the land, and there's just gold stacked everywhere, and a little sloth character hanging from a pine tree nearby.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Oh no. How do we meet up?
So I gotta come to you.
Okay.
Because you're in the newbie area, right?
If that's how you want to insult me, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm flying to the Barrens, and I just gotta run down to where you are.
Can I meet you halfway?
I mean, yeah, actually, if you want to fish in like Ratchet, if you like go out the back way of the newbie area, you can like hop the mountain, and then you'll like be near all the water and stuff. That could be a good fishing spot.
Like, are you saying Ratchet like what the cool kids are saying, or is a place called Ratchet?
Well, Ratchet is kind of ratchet.
Okay.
But it's no, it's a town.
Okay, so I head north from the valley, or I go west and then north?
You want to go southwest of where you are on the map to like the river.
And then do you have a fishing rod for me?
I just buy you one.
Okay, cool. All right, I will start doing it. So where are you at right now in the world?
I'm flying.
On what kind of majestic steed?
A wyvern, because that's all you can fly on. Well, actually, you can fly on bats, I guess, if you're in the undead area.
But you can't just take any steed you want?
No, that's retail WoW.
Oh. If we were retail WoW, where would we be fishing?
I mean, if we were in retail WoW, we could literally fish anywhere.
But classic, we can't.
Yeah, classic's very, you know, a lot of basic stuff. But it was like the first rendition of the game, so.
Oh, I got you. All right, so I made okay. So going southwest here.
Yeah. So there should be a little valley you find that goes up. It's supposed to be for Shaman, but you can just walk past it and then hop over the Shaman Wall.
Shaman Wall.
It's kind of like a little secret path.
There's like a tree that looks like a mushroom.
It may have gone too far.
Okay.
Yeah, it may have gone too far.
What does a Shaman Wall look like?
Well, it should be a little path, and it leads up to a, like a shamanistic little thing at the top of it. The path itself isn't gonna look like anything special.
So we're looking for a shamanistic?
Yeah, you're just looking for a secret path in the wall.
Ah. Okay, I think I found it. And then there's a fork in the road.
Yeah. Then you want to go, I think, right at the fork.
Okay. It says hidden path.
Oh wait. Okay. Maybe just follow that.
It takes me back down to the mushroom tree.
See if there's a different route behind you in the hidden path. There's gotta be. It's gotta be around there. Maybe go left instead of right.
Okay. You said you have to jump a lot to get up, right?
Possibly.
Okay.
I actually haven't done it in a while, but
see, I
remember
it. Do you know like World of Warcraft like the back of your hand?
I wouldn't say like the back of my hand. I would say I know it pretty well. But I don't have like the type of brain that's like a photogenic brain. Like, yes, I remember the tree details in the far back right of the Duratar area. Like, I don't know that.
But you know Duratar.
Yeah, I know like generic directions and stuff. Like, I can picture it in my mind. I'm also really bad at explaining things.
No, you had me with shamanistic. I kind of get that.
All right, okay.
I'm close. Chat saying I'm like warm to lukewarm.
Okay.
And I think further right.
Well, I'm gonna invite you. /invite. My first. You get that? Hold on.
Up the mountain.
Let's see. What if I slash you my... See if that works. That didn't work. Why can't I find you?
I am on...
Durotar.
How do I know what server I'm on? /server? I did the one you told me, I think.
All right. I don't. Well. Yeah, I don't think you can see what server you're on once you're in. You gotta log out to see.
If you look to the left, look down the cliff. Okay. Do you spell my name properly? I probably should have.
I did, in fact, spell it properly.
Do you think I might be on the wrong server?
I think you might be on the wrong server.
Okay.
Like maybe. Let's check here. I'm looking now.
I don't think I am. But
we'll see.
I would say if I had to guess, I would say probably. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, there goes
is it easier if I make a character in a different realm?
No.
Okay. Because you're already kind of here.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
I also have things on the server.
Ooh.
Well, on other servers.
No, I'm sorry. I meant like different race or something.
Oh no.
Okay.
They in like retail WoW, you can be on any server, you can be whatever, and it like pairs you up. But like in classic, you gotta full on meet up. All right, hold on. Invite my first horde.
Yo.
There we go.
Is this your original character?
No. This is, I never played a warlock in classic WoW, and so I decided to play one, and I had a lot of fun playing it.
What's your main stuff?
My main stuff.
Yeah. Like your first main stuff.
Oh, my first ever main was a hunter, an orc hunter. I got to 60, then I leveled a Taran warrior to 60.
What was your first character's name?
Kagon, and it ended up being my Billy character in my machinimas. And then I leveled, get this, an undead priest named Crendor.
Just randomly?
Yeah, I randomly generated a name, and it was like Crendorn. It was like Krendorn, and so I was like, I'll just change it to a C and get rid of the N, and then the name was born.
There you go. All right, I am here. I'm on like a little nub and I just got killed.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you did it. All right.
Can you res me or no?
So, I cannot res you, but I can protect you.
Okay.
When you just release and run run back to your body.
Okay. Oh, we're in Ratchet.
Yeah, we're in Ratchet.
I probably shouldn't have shown the server on the screen, huh?
Well, I mean, in fact, well, the more I think about it, I don't know if you can actually fish.
Why?
If I give you a fishing pole, I don't think you're gonna have the fishing skill.
Oh. How do I get that?
Yeah. You have to learn it, and I don't know if you have to be a certain level to learn it. I think in retail WoW, you can just fish at any level, and then classic WoW, you have to be a certain level. Or you have to have, like, you have to be a certain level, or you need money. If it's money, I can just give you money. Unless it doesn't let me trade with you because of,
well, I bought it for the month.
Oh, okay. So it should.
All right, cool. Do you know where my body is? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I am standing right next to it.
Okay, cool. Chat saying I gotta be at least level 5.
All right.
How long does that take?
Classic WoW, it's gonna take a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Hey, look at that. You can have that.
Oh, mind if I roll need? Oh, let me put that bad boy on. Where is it?
Damn, you got a 96.
Oh, I can't use it. Okay. Yo, you're looking kind of decked out.
Yeah, a little bit. I got some decent stuff from like Molten Core. I got one black and layer thing. Or no, my helmet's tier 2.
Yo, why is the... Oh, I thought that was Diablo. Are there any crossover stuff like from Diablo in the game?
I don't know about in Classic WoW if there are. Hold on, I'll try to clear the path for you here.
Okay. I got shot by like a spiny or something.
Yeah, you had one of those guys, I think, come attack you. We'll get you to Ratchet here.
Okay.
Let's see, can I give you any buffs? Actually, I can put a soul stone on you, hold on. Alright, so if you die again, you can come back. Alright.
Alrighty. So I am in your world now. I'm just merely... I am a train car on the SS Crendor.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Choo-choo.
Can we ride that thing? Probably not, huh?
No.
Is it later in life? Can you ride it?
No. In retail WoW, you can.
Oh.
Actually, experience might level you up a bit from like exploration. You know.
Yeah. I almost dinged.
There you go. All right. So let's see. There might be a fishing trainer over here. Let me check. This guy is the fisherman guy.
I see you flexing right there. Steed's majestic.
What? Oh, my mount?
Yeah.
This isn't even an epic mount. It's just a normal mount. I got for
normal free. With fire hooves is normal.
Well, yeah, it's a free warlock mount. I get it at 40, and they're just like, "Hey, here's your mount," and all the other people have to like pay for theirs.
Why did you get it for free?
'Cause I'm a warlock.
What's up?
Oh.
Yeah, so I got this specific mount.
What's up? Hurry back.
I got what you need. Okay, so I have... Okay, hold on. Here, can you... What's it say when you try to equip that?
It's red, but let me tell you what it says.
Okay.
I right-clicked it. I do not have the proficiency required.
Okay.
So is that just skill?
It might be the training. I think it is the training.
Okay.
Hold on. Fishing, trainers, classic WoW. Fishing trainers, classic WoW. Horde.
I don't remember them blinking when I played this game.
Who?
Our characters. It was just like a bitmap over a couple polygons.
No, they blink.
In the original vanilla?
Yeah.
The dwarfs? No way. No way. That's new
Yeah,
tech.
Wait, so it says this guy. This guy. Man, so he doesn't train you. This guy, I figured he'd be a trainer.
He's holding a fish.
Money, friend.
He is holding a fish, yes. He is a fisherman, but he's not a trainer of fishermen. He's just himself a fisherman. Let's see. What about in Booty Bay? Stranglethorn. Hold on. All right, get on the boat.
Okay.
Get on the boat.
Do I have time?
I think I just got here, so I think we should have enough time.
What's the turnaround time on this thing?
I think it's here for like a minute.
That's it?
Yeah.
What happens if you miss it? How long you gotta wait?
Probably like 5 minutes.
Oh.
All right, you're good.
All right, cool. What's her story?
She's enslaved to me. Or she is my slave. No, I also got I got my imp. Hold on, I'll show off my minions. Hold on, here's my imp. He's the guy you get first. He's a good guy, this imp. His name is Piz Pep.
Why is he taking so long to come? Oh.
There he is, Piz Pep. Really good guy. I think he sounds like a heartburn medication.
He's giving me divinity flashbacks. Can you get the other one back?
Well, here's the Void Walker.
Okay.
All right. These are also, let's see.
That's a Hearthstone. I can see it. Matt, is it perp with blue eyes? Oh.
That's Void Walker. That's
Okay.
Thanzast. Then we got the Fell Hunter. Comes the old Fell Hunter. And he's second now.
Fell Hunter, elf with green eyes. Not
No,
even
he's
close.
This little guy, Prygrim.
He's kind of nasty looking.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I also have the Inferno, but I can't summon him without an Infernal Stone, so that's not happening. And then, oh, here we go.
Can you bring her home?
The Succubus, yeah. It's here's the Succubus. Just to really, her name is Valanda.
Valanda.
Yeah, very. I think it's a good name.
What was that noise?
What?
I just heard.
Oh, where she smacks her ass.
Is that confirmed or is that Crendor lore?
Oh no, it's her smacking her ass.
Is it because it give her like extra powers or something?
No, just 2004 video game.
Oh, okay, okay. So was that like a highly sought after minion?
I mean, if you get her, if you're a warlock,
Automatically?
yeah.
So were there a lot
That's
of
like the
warlocks in the game?
Surprisingly, no, but you would think there would be.
I feel like I've been here before. Is this a neutral location?
Yeah, this is Booty Bay. Hold on, I think we go down here.
Succubuses try to seduce people.
Need help?
Expert bass fishing in you. Teaches you how to become an expert fisher. No.
Let's see, this guy.
You just want to be novice.
Yeah, I think he's up here, actually. Level 5 required rip. Ah, jeez. Oh, wait. Yeah, here he is. Yo.
Yo.
Train me. Requires level 5.
Glad I
Shit,
could
dude.
help.
All right. Well.
If you just kill stuff, do I get easy XP or no?
I go kill some gorillas out here. We can find out. It's worth checking, or seeing if it's worth it.
It would make sense. I feel like back in the day you could do that just cheese, right? Level boosted?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they had it. I just don't know how fast it was. All right. Let's see.
Did she just do that automatically?
Yeah, she just does it automatically.
Okay.
Can't control her, dude. So shit's gonna start attacking pretty quickly out here.
Okay. What level are you?
I'm 60.
Oh, so you're untouchable.
Yes, around these parts, yeah. Now the big thing here is, all right, you don't want to die. So let's go this way. All right, so here's Bloodsail Trader. Let's go a little out of here.
Is that a baddie? No.
No, that's not. Dun 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 dun.
Chat saying in before Stealth Panther. No.
Those aren't around here. Hold on, you should probably stay. Hold on, wait right here. Wait, don't move from there.
Okay.
Let me just check. Oh. They might be farming up and down over here.
Still want me to stay here?
Yeah, just stay there. Oh yeah, someone's already killing these. All right. So let's go back this way. And we can go up towards the gorillas. There's a lot of gorillas over there.
Okay. How confident do you feel that you could strike them down with one death blow?
Well, I have a lot of like dots and stuff, but I can still probably kill them pretty quickly.
What do you mean by dots?
Damage over time. Yeah. Dude, everybody's killing everything here. What is this? Oh, there's a gorilla. All right, so. All right, hit him once. I'll throw some dots on him. Here it comes. It's level 40.
Should I try and hit him?
I mean, if you want. So what'd you get for that?
It didn't say. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at said discovered wild shore 55 experience, but it didn't.
I think because the mobs don't, because they're like out of my level, that you don't get experience really.
Oh, so we'd have to go to like level 60 area. You can't teleport, right?
I can summon people.
Why don't we just go to like the hardest area?
You're
20 man raid.
I mean, you'll probably die instantaneously. All right, let's see how this one does. This guy's level 41.
Yeah, I got one for that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Well,
no, we can just throw the fish on the ground.
yeah, you can. You just play around in the water. Just pretend like you're spear fishing. You know?
Yeah, no, that works.
All right, let's.
How did I get all this other XP though?
Probably exploration.
Ah.
Yeah. So hold on. Let's here. Follow me over here. I'll just run you over.
That's kind of. But you said in retail, like that was not the case. You could just fish.
Yeah. Yeah, in retail you can just fish. They've changed it over time, so it's like, you know,
Easier for people to have fun.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. Yeah, so these are where the panthers are. All right.
Oh, good sound effects.
Yeah, I got good sound effects. All right.
And then if we, okay, I would say, I don't think it would work. Yo, what is that thing? A murloc?
Those are the Naga.
Let's get this party started.
Oh, well. All right, don't use your soul stone yet.
Should I release spirit or no?
No. You wanna use your soul stone once I've already killed them all.
Okay.
Hold on, after I kill this one. Let me just check down here. All right, you should. Let me just kill these. All right, you can use it. Now run down. Yeah. All right.
All right, cool. Will we get bugged here or no?
No. So let's in fact, let's go over this little area, this little like island thing. I think they'll over here they'll respawn, but over here I don't think they're gonna get you.
Okay.
On this little divot.
Oh, there's some fish down there.
Hey, you got some nice fish down there. Okay. All right. So, where's my fishing pole? I have a swag fishing pole. I got my Matt Pagel's Extreme Angler. It's pretty extreme, honestly. And where's my fishing skill? Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll just fish. You can like jump around in the water, play around, be like I'm spear catching some honkers in there.
Okay. I was gonna try and get like real close and like make it look like.
Oh yeah, you can make it look like you're fishing.
Yeah. Is there a sidestep button? No.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
There's Q and E.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Trying to get frame perfectity here.
Yeah. There you go. Line her up. Actually, let me test. I'll do a test recording here, make sure it sounds good. All right, hey, it's me talking test recording, and here's the DANGHEESLING.
All right, I got the good angle here.
All right.
Can I do what kind of emotes? Are there any emotes I could do that emulate fishing?
I'm not sure.
Emote. Slap.
Okay. All right. You're loving the dance.
Will he just keep doing this the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good
stop.
eats.
that is good eats. Alton Brown. Let me.
I would guess you've been to a few BlizzCons, right?
Yeah, I've been to like 5 or 6.
I'd be willing to guarantee a body part that people dress like their character and then know their dances. That's got to be true, right?
Oh yeah, that's happened a lot.
Okay.
They would even have like dancing contests.
Okay. Like who can do it pixel perfect type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a new move in there. No, he did like the MC Hammer side to side.
I think that's what the dance is based off.
Oh.
Because all the dances are based off actual dances.
All right, Chad. I'm not gonna ask a single question. Oh, there's more new tech.
The newest old tech around. All right, so here, let me get this. All right, it should be good. I did a little test recording thing. Let me make sure I know what episode we're on. Fishing with Crendor. We're on 53. Okay.
Guys, so good.
Close window. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready. I think.
All right. I'm gonna start recording in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Crendor. Welcome back to another episode of Fishing with Crendor. Today, I'm fishing with the one, the only, definitely the only, DANGHEESLING.
What's going on, Crendor? Thanks for having me out here out on the shores of Minas Tirith.
Yep. So for everybody watching this video right now, why don't you tell them what you do, who you are, because some people are probably like, Dan, who?
Yeah. So I've been making YouTube videos and streaming on Twitch since 2012. And really to hit you with a first grade vernacular, I focus on creating clean, positive gaming entertainment. So basically a place where you can tune in and, watch a show where you're not going to get salted or angry, but, in the face of adversity, we try to have fun and learn from it and just laugh when bad things go wrong as opposed to take stuff too serious.
All right. I appreciate that. That's you're just having some good, clean fun out there,
Yeah. There's plenty of Twitch channels you could see people rage at, throw controllers and, say the game's broken. But, that's just not how we do things. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. And you were on Big Brother, right? I always hear people mention the Big Brother, but as somebody who watched Big Brother, I think twice.
Yeah.
I have no idea about anything Big Brother related.
Yeah, you saved yourself a lot of questionable television, a lot of time. But essentially, the concept is it's exactly like Survivor. You put a group of people instead of on an island, you put them in a house and they vote each other out. And at the end, whoever is the last one standing wins a couple gold coins and the rest is history.
Were you the last one standing?
I played twice, and the first time I was the last one standing, and the second time I was also one of the last 2 people standing, but the other orcs did not vote for me to win. So
sad. They didn't want to have good, clean fun.
That's one way to put it.
So let's talk a bit about just how you got into video games in general. Like, how old were you? Did you get like an Atari or something? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so I was pretty fortunate that my dad was really into tech stuff. He worked with computers. This is the early 80s. So I grew up always around a computer. But I'd say my first experience was with the NES. But you're talking early 80s. To have a computer was like extremely rare. But I grew up with a Nintendo, and like subsequently, like next to the Nintendo, it was like I was experiencing computer games with my dad and NES games with my dad. And I think like some of my earliest computer memories were like playing the graphic adventure game Space Quest 1 with my dad, like sitting on his lap and figuring it out. And I had to be like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old.
Space Quest 1.
Yeah. It's a Sierra adventure game where you play the role of a space janitor. And yeah, it's like a kind of comedy, but I was really into it as a kid.
I know Sierra actually made quite a few games that I think about. Because I remember I played Empire Earth and all that. They would always have the Sierra thing pop up. So, but I don't know how many games Sierra. I think they like publish games. I have no idea.
Yeah, that was like not really Sierra. I mean, the OG Sierra stuff is like King's Quest, Space Quest, Police Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, Heroes Quest. Like just, I mean, for the time, like my era, I'm a little bit older than you. Was just like it was just classic. It was really fun. I really.
How old are you?
I am 36.
Oh yeah, I'm 30.
Yeah,
well, I'll be 31 in a few months. Yeah, I remember like Leisure Suit Larry. I remember because like when I was a kid, I remember being like 12 and I saw like the Leisure Suit Larry thing. And I was like, whoa, this is some adult stuff right here that I don't understand.
Yeah,
but you're still curious.
Yeah, you're like, why is this like this? And then why can't I play this? But you know, you get it later.
Yeah, of course. So what about after Space Quest? Then what happened?
So, you know, like I said, it's for me, there's just so many firsts that I think at the time I knew was pretty unique because it's not like kids at school were, you know, having these experiences, but we had like a 900 baud modem in our house. So we're talking like, I wasn't on the BBS stuff, but I remember like Prodigy and like early AOL, but I'd say even before that, there was something called the Sierra Network, which was probably my first online experience. It was like an online board game place where it was actually made by Sierra. You could log on and play like a bunch of different style board games. They had a dungeon crawler you could play with up to 4 people. They had a space or a Red Baron plane simulator. You could dogfight people, but this is like so early on. I mean, this is like when you paid for internet and you got like 30 hours a month, and then you'd pay for no, you could dial into, this was before the internet, you could dial into the service, and I think you had like 30 hours to play the game. So I really, you know, got a chance to play a lot of computer games, be exposed to a lot of different genres, like Wing Commander I grew up playing with my dad. And then so I'd play like a lot of computer games with my dad, and then NES stuff either, you know, by myself or with my sister growing up.
Did you have was this before the AOL discs?
Yeah, AOL came, I feel like AOL came later. The timeline's a little fuzzy, but I feel like when AOL started to come around, it was not accepted, but it was definitely, people had heard of AOL. Like we were doing stuff like Prodigy and the Sierra Network, where like no one knew what that stuff was in my neighborhood.
I mean, I still don't know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's some old YouTube videos of it, but it's like, I guess it's very unique. There's nothing I could compare it to today, I guess. I don't know.
I know at the AOL disc, my grandpa used to like pick them up and like just try to build stuff out of them and like hang them in his yard as like wind chimes. Yeah. It's like randomly, I don't know. Yeah. What was like the first like game system that you started to have, like, you know, like that was your own kind of, right? Because like, you know, you have like you play on your parents' like PC, and then maybe it's like was the NES like officially yours, or was it like the family NES? Yeah, so I have an older sister, so it was both of ours. But I feel like early on, if I had to guess, I would say maybe 5 or 6. My dad would build computers, and he had one, and then he built one for me and my sister. So I kind of consider that maybe it, and I think it was an Atari ST. I don't know if he built it, but I remember having an Atari S. I played on the Atari ST, and he built like a 15 megahertz. It had like so back in the day, the old PC cases used to have a turbo button on it, and it had a LCD on the outside, so you could actually turn your processor. It went from like 15 hertz to like 25 hertz if you hit the turbo button. So I think I had the Atari ST, which had like a Windows style interface, like a mouse and, you know, things you could click on, and he had the PC. Huh. Was it like Like, what did what the turbo button actually did? It sounds like it's like, oh, we're gonna overheat the computer now. Go to turbo mode.
I think we always just left it on, but I would always push it. But I guess in theory, it controlled how fast the processor could run.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like the only downside would be like it would get too hot. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
How the computer.
I can see that clear as day. I think it was like 10 megahertz and 25 megahertz versus what are the processors now? I don't even know.
You got gigahertz.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah.
Or is it or like 10? Oh, it's megahertz. Listen, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just hold on. Now I'm curious. It's new i7 processor. It's is it? I'm pretty sure it's gigahertz, right?
Yeah. So I mean, we're talking from megahertz, 10 megahertz to 5 gigahertz is.
Yeah.
You
Plus
know.
they have multiple cores now, so you have like different cores like working on different shit. So it's they're a lot better.
Yeah.
So what about like Super Nintendo? You get a Super Nintendo?
So I had a weird relationship with systems growing up. So I had the NES. We always had that. And then whenever something, no,
sorry to interrupt you. I thought you'd be like, I had a weird relationship with Super Nintendo.
No.
So like, oh god.
But it was kind of weird. Like, so we would go. I wouldn't say weird, different. We would go to these things called computer shows where you'd go and you'd buy games and like you'd resell stuff and you'd see like the latest computer games and get like shareware discs and you. But anyway, so whenever something new would come out, we would get it, you know, fortunate, like, so like things like Turbo Graphics, and then we'd have it for like a month and be like, this isn't very good. And then we would sell it at a, one of these trade shows. So I would get like Genesis when it came out, and then we'd be like, oh, this was good for a couple months. Then we'd sell it, and we, meaning my dad, and we get like Super Nintendo. So I kind of like jumped around a bit. So I missed a lot out, like, but during that time too, like the majority of the games I was playing on console, I'd say were some of the classics. Like I'd say I played the most classics on NES, but when it got to the 16-bit era, I was playing way more computer games than console games.
I see. So did you play a lot of like old school Blizzard games then, since you were on the PC?
I played original Warcraft, and I played. That's the earliest one I remember playing. And I think I played that Viking game. I don't know if that's a Blizzard game or not.
Yeah. The like 3 Vikings or whatever.
Yeah. So we got like a lot of those games, and there was, it may be hard to imagine, but you know how like there was Blockbuster, you could rent, video games back then, and where I grew up, there's probably like 2 or 3 within a 45-minute driving radius. You could rent PC games.
Oh, wow. But
you could also just like install them on your computer. So by renting them, you could just install them and play them, sometimes, and sometimes, maybe you would not make illegal floppy copies and play them. But so I just had I had a ton of PC games available as a kid, and even computer games.
Did you ever play like RTS, like Age of Empires and Empire Earth and all those?
No, so that's kind of like a divergent point for me. I played Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2, and I got StarCraft, and that's when I started to get uninterested in RTS games. But I really was in FPS games as a kid. We played Wolfenstein and Heretic and Hexen, which are like early, iterations Doom. But one of the coolest things I remember doing as a kid, whenever Doom came out, my dad was able to set it up. He had a friend at work, so they would deathmatch through the modem. And I don't know how he did it, but he would deathmatch his friend from work through the modem, and me and my dad were linked up on 2 computers, so it was like a 1v1v1 Doom deathmatch over modem. It was pretty. I mean, like, to think about doing that now, like the hoops you have to jump through to do that. And I can't remember if it was Doom or Heretic or Hexen, but one of those games. And I know we did it for Quake for sure, but I'm pretty sure it might have been, for sure it was Hexen, because Hexen was like a medieval kind of Doom where you had this weapon, you could turn people into chickens. But I did a lot of that. That kind of stuff was a lot of good memories, like early days that I can remember.
Do you have any like favorite memories from like those FPS games?
That, and then like when Duke Nukem came out, I was able to download like custom levels. So I would download a bunch of custom levels, and then I would have like one or two of my friends that I kind of let in the inner circle, because as a kid, like I didn't broadcast that I was playing PC games, because you know
Yeah.
you get roughed up a little bit. Yeah. So I was able to like keep like this semi cool persona, but a few friends that I let in the inner circle, I'd have them over and we'd deathmatch on all these custom levels, and it was a really good time. Like that's like kind of, I'd play that's like late grade school, middle school.
Yeah, because coming to think of it, I feel like even I didn't have a computer until I was like maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah.
That would be like 2000. So like even the 90s, nobody really had like PCs, or like maybe one friend would have it or something.
Yeah, and like I had a PC or like a computer. It wasn't always a PC. It was Atari ST through the 80s. So like growing up around a computer, for me, like that's kind of how I was able to read, and I could always like, I remember going into like second grade school computer class, and they have the Apple IICs or Apple IIs that people would be doing number crunchers and that stuff. And like, I could already fully type, and people would look at me like, what are you doing? Like, how do you know how to do this? And I just was quiet and didn't say anything, but
dude, I remember in grade school, now you bring that up, they had like that educational like entertainment games or whatever.
like,
you ever play well, they had like the Apple IIs, I think. They had like what do you call it, Oregon Trail on them. Yeah, they had like there was some other ones I can't remember, but I remember playing them.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, this is later, but in middle school we had apples, and there's this kid next to me. One of my classes, we were supposed to be doing typing, and it was an apple, and his name was George, and I taught George how to make the Apple computer speak what you would type. So we would type all these swear words, and I wouldn't do it, but we'd type all these swear words, and then he'd turn the volume up on the Apple computer, and then the teacher would come running over and say, who was it? And then back then we learned how to like control whatever, copy and exit out. So he would run around to see who was doing it, but we were quick enough with the shortcuts that he could never catch us.
That sounds like typical kids.
Yeah. So
I remember we also had, God, what was it? We had like the newer apples as well. Like I think it was like the early mid 90s.
like the Macintosh. That'd be a Macintosh.
Yeah, we had the Mac. So we had like the old apples and the new apples, the Macs. And so we'd get to like half the kids would go on the old ones, half go on the new ones. The new ones had like the cooler games. Like there was this one with like a spelling bee. So you'd have to like spell words, and then you'd like get to play a game when you did it. But I remember kids would like get so mad, they're like, I want to go on the other computer or whatever. And so like some kids would sneak over, and then the teacher's just like, get back over there, you're not done playing this shit. But it's that was like one of my first things with computers, was just seeing those seeing all those games and stuff on the old Macs and Apples.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just laughing at your minion. Just, if someone's listening to this audio only, they're gonna wonder what the heck is going on, either at my house or your house, with that noise.
Oh yeah, she's just it's the Succubus ass smack. It's a classic. So when did you ever like? I guess it's back. Like, when did you start like getting into like World of Warcraft? Like, not even, because you said you played Warcraft 1. And he said did you play Warcraft 2?
I did.
So when did you play WoW? Did you play when it came out, or like did you not really care when it came out and you're just like, whatever? No,
so one thing I was always really enamored with kind of growing up is playing online, right? So, from whether it was the Doom, through the modem with my dad's friend from work, or, the Sierra network, I would always, and I watched this video as a kid. I don't know if it was rented or somehow, but it was a VHS, and it was about the internet. And it was, Yahoo used to have this directory called Yahoo looked way different back then, but I was always into online games and online worlds. And I played games like Meridian 59, Sierra's The Realm, EverQuest. So anytime a new MMO came out, like I played back in the day when one came out every, I don't know, couple years, I would always play it and try it. So I remember there was a lot of hype for World of Warcraft, And so I remember playing that early on, but I'm really cutting out my favorite online experience of all time, which is Ultima Online. And Ultima Online, it was like, to me, it was just really kind of game changing because it was the first time I'd signed in to like, I think this was before Meridian 59. I don't remember. But anyways, like you logged into a world and there were people running around doing stuff and they weren't like NPCs. They were real people doing stuff. And there was such a sense of consequence in Ultima Online. Like when you left the city gate, like you'd get murdered and you lose everything. And that was it. And so I really had a really fun experience with that. And I always, because of that, I always looked for that in future MMOs. And I played when WoW, what did WoW came out? What year was it?
04.
04. So I think I played 04. I would have been, I remember playing a classic through vanilla through the Burning Crusade. And then after that, I stopped. That might've been my senior year in college. I don't really remember.
So I was a freshman in high school when WoW came out.
Yeah.
And you're like 5, so you'd probably be a freshman, yeah.
Yeah. So I played it there, and then I went to graduate school for a year and a half. Definitely didn't play it then. And then I was substitute teaching or teaching, and then I came back, and that had to be Burning Crusade. Is that right? When did Burning Crusade come out?
Like 2 years later.
Yeah. So then I started playing Burning Crusade. Like I would teach, and then I'd come home at like 4 or 5, and then I'd play Burning Crusade with friends until like 11, and then I'd go teach the next day. But then after Burning Crusade, I got out, and then I was out for real.
I see. Well, with Ultima Online, can you talk a bit more about Ultima Online? Because like I get a lot of people that they either say they played Ultima Online or they played Dark Age of Camelot, and I didn't play either of them, so I've heard a lot about Dark Age of Camelot, but I haven't really heard details on like Ultima.
Yeah, so Ultima Online, it was just the players decided literally everything. You know, you could be standing next to someone in a bank and you could be a thief. You could have a invisibility skill. You could have a pickpocket skill. So I could look in your pocket, take something out, and then have a friend open up a teleporter, run through the teleporter before the guards killed you. So it was just really, there weren't levels, there were skills. So you could make any kind of character you wanted. There was just, it was anytime, to me, it's just anytime you left the city walls, it was just this like physical feeling of exhilaration and exploration, because it's not like, you know, there's nothing against Warcraft, but like when you leave Warcraft, like you could tell me everything that's going to happen. You can tell me where everyone's going to be, but you just never knew when you went out in Ultima Online what you were going to run into, you know. And it was just because there was so much there, it was just basically like literally an open world sandbox where everyone would play. You would have like player run cities. You could buy homes, and I really loved the persistence where you could have a home and it would physically be in the world. So it was an instance. You could have castles, you could have shops. It was such a cool experience because it was a permanence to it where stuff you did mattered. And I don't know, it wasn't like really, there was nothing about it that was sugar coated, and you kind of had to learn the hard way. But when you had big victories, or if you killed a player killer, like, so for example, if you were a good guy, your name was blue. If you did bad stuff, you would have a red name. You couldn't come into the city. But if you saw a red name and you were blue, you could kill a red and you wouldn't lose your status. And so there were groups of good guys and bad guys, and it was just such a fun time. But I think the most part is just there's this sense of consequence. Like if you do something bad, you're gonna get in trouble. If you die, you're gonna lose it all. But on the same time, if you come up with a big moment, like you felt it. It wasn't like, oh, you just respawn and come back another day.
Did you because you said there's not levels, right? So is it kind of like gear based then?
It was gear based, but also skill based. So for example, like fish, you could have a fishing skill, and to up your fishing skill, you would just have to fish a lot. But I think don't quote me exactly, but I think you could have like 10 skills max, but they could be 10 skills whatever you want. They could be fishing, cooking, fletching, making arrows. So you can make whatever kind of character you want, but just based on, you would just have to work that skill, whatever you wanted to do.
And so like Like, I get it. So it's more like profession based then, more than anything.
Yeah, but you could have good gear and get away with some stuff, but you would need good skills to also go with the good gear. But there were also kind of lower level builds that you could have a knife and then someone could make poison and you could put poison on the knife. Maybe you get a lucky hit and, you know, there's just, the options were endless.
Do you think a game like that could survive in like today's internet kind of community? Because I feel like back then there wasn't obviously as big of a player base, right?
Yeah.
So like, would it be overloaded? Would it be, you know, people data mine shit? It was like, you know, even classic WoW, like when you think back to it, they didn't have things like data mining or anything like that. So what do you think it could survive in a modern like economy?
I think anything different in today's gaming scene is going to do well. Anything that's not a reskin clone is going to at least have an opportunity to do well because it presents something new to the player, which is honestly the game I play the most of on Twitch is Escape from Tarkov. And the reason I like it is not because it's a military sim or a really detailed into guns, because I could really care less. It's just Tarkov is the first game that in modern history, for me, modern history meaning like the past 10 years, that has been able to capture when you die, you lose everything. And the same time, when you get a good kill, you get to keep all the person's stuff. So it's really, and I'm sure there's some games I've missed, but to have that sort of loot permanence and consequence where you can't turn it off, right? So like some games have tried to do that where you could turn the PvP flag off, or there's a lot of safe areas, or there's only some areas you can fight. But I really think, you know, and I'm super biased, I think a game like that, like an MMO with like lawlessness or, you know, but player-based laws and giving control to players, I think it could do well because there's just nothing really out there like it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of games even try to do it, but they just don't really do it well, or the game itself just is kind of not a good game.
Yeah, and I think some companies or some games try to do it, and then there's a lot of pushback because people don't, I mean, it's not, people may consider it griefing. Like, to me, griefing is like someone doing something to you just for the sake of doing something, you know, to be annoying or trolly. But, you know, if something's difficult in a game or there's like a pain in losing everything, I think it hits people pretty hard because people get really connected to stuff. And I think sometimes you see companies maybe start out with that intention and then get a severe pushback from the player base, and then they'll alter it to make it, you know, appeal to more people. Where I feel like, you know, and I'm just using Tarkov as an example, they've kind of done the opposite. They've just had this vision for the game, and whether it did well or not, you know, I think they've stuck with it. And I think you've seen a lot of people gravitate towards it because it is different than a lot of really everything else that's out there.
Yeah, and I think especially with being different, there's so many games nowadays that just kind of copy each other because it's the safe thing to do. But when you do make that different game, it kind of creates an entire genre, kind of like how like there was the battle royale genre, or the like Minecraft coming out. Like there's always that game that kind of starts an entire wave of new games.
Yeah, and even WoW, like WoW, I mean, you could say they perfected and made it more, you know, more easily accessible than EverQuest, because EverQuest, I don't know if you played it, was really, really difficult and unforgiving, but it was a similar theme to WoW where, you know, like there's not a ton of consequence and stuff like that, but like then you'd have games that copied WoW, right? Whether, what was the space game that copied Windstar? What was that name of that game? WildStar. Yeah. You know, it was like literally just a space. You had a lot of WoW clones. So I give WoW a lot of credit. I think WoW really, I think, pushed open the door to, you know, more mainstream gaming because people loved this game because it was easily accessible and made kind of like an online world not so, I guess, you know, I don't want to say bizarre, but it is foreign to people as maybe it had been prior to this. But I think it is.
Yeah, and I think,
go ahead.
Like, speaking of like that, I remember I've interviewed like WoW devs that actually worked on the game back then. A lot of them did play EverQuest, and they were like, so from playing EverQuest, they were like, we knew what we liked about it and what we didn't like about it. We were like, well, we want to make sure like this is like a, not like a casual experience, but kind of like an easily accessible, like you were saying, experience. So even if you had a bad computer, right, you could still play WoW because the graphics aren't crazy or anything.
Yeah. And I remember like playing EverQuest, And it was kind of like, I would say it's like hardcore WoW. Hardcore WoW is like you would die and you lose a bunch of stuff, you know, to an NPC or like to death. But it was like the game loop was very similar. It was just a lot more difficult. But I think the other thing that's kind of interesting too is like a game like EVE Online is still around. And while it's, you know, some people call it a spreadsheet simulator or whatnot,
Yeah.
the consequence is still there, right? Like you can lose everything and gain everything, you know, whether or not the subject matter or the gameplay appeals to you. That's another game that's kind of stood the test of time that has that mechanic into it. And I always kind of, you know, when I see RuneScape is still pretty popular, and I tried it once, like in the past 6 months, I think it has elements of that. But it's always sad to me because I always felt like, because Ultima Online got caught up in some licensing stuff and, you know, kind of got buried and changed a lot. But I felt like Ultima Online could have been like RuneScape is now if in the right environment and company and stuff like that. Because it was such a, I think people would love it, but it's not people. I think RuneScape was, you know, people's Ultima Online because it must have been more easily accessible or something. But it's essentially very similar.
Yeah, I think actually something like that happened with Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if you played that.
I didn't play that, but Mathis said that was like Mathis's Ultima Online. He said it was very similar. A lot of consequence, player-run cities. You could have like essentially real estate in the game.
Yeah, I remember because I played classic WoW or vanilla WoW, I guess, whatever, back then. And I remember I got to like level 40, and then a lot of my friends were like, yo, we're playing Star Wars Galaxies. And so we all started hopping over there. And it was very much like that. Like you get like speed bikes, you'd have a house, you could like put shit in your house.
And like people could come by and find your house, right? It wasn't like go to an instance or...
Yes, like everyone could come over to your house. There's so many planets too, so you could like go to different planets, and like it was really neat. And then they like did some patches that kind of ruined everything, and people quit.
Yeah, that's ultimately what I mean. That's what ultimately happened to Ultima Online, and that's when I stopped playing. Is what they did is they ended up splitting the world into two, where there was a place where you could PvP, and then there was a place where there was no PvP, and that really, I think, hurt the game a lot. Even to this day, you'll talk to Ultima Online people and be like, hey, did you play pre-Trammel? And Trammel was what, like, you know, killed everything.
I think I actually always liked the fact that I kind of grew up when I did, because I feel like if I was a kid now, there's so much, right? And it feels like you're kind of forced into certain things, like, oh, you gotta play Fortnite, you gotta play Minecraft. But like, I feel like back when we were playing games, like maybe prior to WoW, when everyone played WoW, it was kind of like there's so many like different games, and you know, there wasn't DLC or pay to win or anything. It was just like you bought the game and you play it, or you play it with your friends.
Yeah, no, and for me, it reminds me of like we'd go to it was whatever it was before Comp USA. I think it's called Soft Warehouse. And sometimes you would just go and look at boxes, and that would be like, all right, you got to make the call based off box art and the description on the back, and maybe you trust the publisher because they made other good games. It wasn't, you know, and if you picked a bad game, you know, it's gonna be a couple months. So
and I still have all my boxes of every computer game I bought, just because I love the boxes. I think they're really cool.
Yeah,
and you got like the manuals in them, and they gave you like real manuals. Like some of them had like 100 pages and shit.
Yeah, the only one that I've kept is the Ultima Online one, but you know, for obvious reasons.
No, I got like Age of Empires. They gave you like spreadsheets of like all the unit counters, and like I remember one RTS game I bought, literally like a 200-page book of like a manual. It wasn't even a manual; it was like a strategy guide
that just came with the game, right?
Yeah, it just came with the game.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, I always enjoyed that. And then once they started doing things online, so I remember then I'd buy like, I don't know, a GameCube, not even GameCube game, but maybe like I don't know, whatever was after GameCube, and they'd like put the like a one little sheet thing in the instruction manual, and it's like, find the instruction manual on the internet, and it was like, oh,
rip.
That's rip. But yeah, it was I always loved that too. They had the boxes everywhere too. Like you go like Office Max, like they, you know, Toys R Us.
Yeah.
You go to like GameStop. I mean, anywhere. Like they all had the boxes. Best Buy. I don't know. Is maybe it's the nostalgia talking.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but at the same time, like kids now never have to deal with like, I mean, I guess they have to deal with downloading, but you know, not like I mean, going to the store to rent a game. Like you can just be like, I want to play this, click it, an hour later. It's, you know, you don't have to worry about someone, oh, they took this Genesis game out, there's no more copies left to rent or buy. It's like, nah, there's infinite. You want to play this, you're getting the digital copy because it's infinite.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot more convenience, I guess you could say. But I think in that convenience comes monetization. And when they start taking advantage of that, is like, you know, get your battle pass. It's like everybody has a battle pass now. It's like, listen, I can't even, like, how do you know which battle pass to buy? I don't know. Like, here's another battle pass. Like, what's in this battle pass? And they're like, you get some colored skins and I don't know, a banner you can use in game. And you're like, okay, neat. Like, I don't know. I don't like it.
No, I mean,
don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's different, you know, and I don't know. I don't always think different is not always bad, but it's just definitely different than, you know, how you grew up and definitely how I grew up. But I enjoy both. You know, I think I appreciate, especially the tech side of things, you know, to think that you can drop onto a map with 150 other players and have, you know, 4 people or 1 person standing at the end and have it work, you know, relatively smooth. It's just technical. Like for that to even think about that, even 10 years ago, you'd be like, there's no way you could do that. And then 25 years ago, or for me 30 years ago, it'd be like, bro, I'm going through a phone line with my dad in a LAN to play over, you know, a 2400 baud modem. Like, and we're lucky that it works, you know. We're like spending 2 hours on a Friday night to get like 5 games in, you know. And now it's like, oh, hey, you want to play with your buddy from South America that you met on summer vacation or whatever? Yep, let's just fire it up, you know. So I think there's a lot of good, but to me, I always look for games now that are just wildly different, because it just, you know, it kind of, I think it sparks some of that nostalgia, just that someone's trying to do something different. And I think, you know, especially I think as much as you and I play and we've been in the industry, you see when like a game is just, I don't want to call it a money grab, because I don't even necessarily have a problem with that. You know, companies have to make money, but I'm not going to spend time playing a game like that. I'd rather take a shot in a game that's trying to do something different.
Well, it's like they're trying to be safe, right?
Yeah.
It's like making another Marvel movie, right? It's like they know what they're gonna get. You're not gonna get like the greatest movie of all time. It's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be like, most people be like, hey, it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it, and then they continue to do it, and it's, you know, there's nothing risky or anything, but they know it's gonna work.
I'm not gonna give you my hot take on Infinity Snore, and if there's 3 or 4 different people that play the character, I'm out. You know, like I don't know. I like for me, the first Spider-Man and stuff was cool, but I don't know. I'm the same way with movies. Like, give me something different. Give me like you know, I'm trying to think of the movies from the Key and Peele dude. Like, he's trying to do different stuff. You know, just give me different stuff. And if it's bad, it's bad, but at least it's someone trying to do something different. So I don't like, I'm not really into any of the Marvel stuff for that reason. It's just kind of samey for me.
No, I definitely feel that. I'm not a big Marvel person. I'm one of the people, like, I'll go to a theater to see a Marvel movie, mainly because I want to eat popcorn and like have a sody pop and be like, wow, I'm at the movie theater. But like, I never actually watch the movies at home, because I'm like, I don't want to watch it. So I don't know. I actually want to get your opinion on online experiences, because here's an example. So when I first started playing an online game, I think the first game I ever played online was Empire Earth, which was like Age of Empires but a little advanced. And I remember playing with like these people from all over the world. And this one dude, he was this German guy, and they had a forum. So we went on the forum. We were all talking. So we all played like the Middle Ages. And he's like, here I am. And he posted a picture of himself, and it was him surrounded by beer bottles with his like shitty computer, like posting on the forum with a thumbs up. And
how old were you?
I remember I was like 11 or 12, probably 12. And so I was just like, yo, what the shit? Like, this like blows your mind, right? You're a kid, all you know is like everybody around you. Now they're like, here's some German dude at his computer surrounded by like beer bottles. So like, do you have any like memories of people you met online that kind of stand out?
Yeah, and it took me a millisecond to remember one of the person's name and to see if I could find the old website. So the first online game I really got into was called The Realm, and it was by Sierra. And there was like, I remember a bunch of playing that game, and essentially what it was kind of just like it looked like a Sierra adventure game, but you could basically, it was just kind of like a D&D game. And there were a lot of people there, and I was, if this was 97, I was 13. But there were a lot of like, this dude, his name, he made this website called Jareth's Realm Info Stand, and he essentially cataloged everything in the game. I think he was a college student from Northwestern. There was a couple guys I played with, and I mean, I'm like 13. One was like a university student at the University of Georgia. A kid I played with, he was from Pennsylvania, and I think he became and like, I can remember these people's first and last names, and I haven't like looked them up or Googled them in like a decade, but I can still tell you these people's names just because like you spent a lot of time with these people, and that their real names weren't in the game. You know, this guy's name was Jareth in the game, and I think the other guy's name was like Sinbad, but you just got to know these people. And so I never got really weird for me. And I was trying to think if I ever had like a really bad experience or anything like that. I never had anything weird happen, or, you know, people being rude, or like stuff like, I would worry about kids now signing on and like getting into a fight and then losing, and you hear like just horrible stuff said to one another. I just never experienced that. I think because it was so early on, and the games I played, it was just like a community. And so like, if you were a jerk to someone, then that person, you just didn't run into that. Or if you did, I just remember, I don't know. I just never remember having those even questions like, oh, this person sent me an inappropriate message. And I don't know why that is. It just was. So I think that's kind of my earliest memories. Like, I could tell you the names of all these people, but I haven't talked to them, and since the game was over.
Yeah, no, I have like very similar experiences with Empire Earth. Like, it was, like you said, it's like a community, and it gave that sense of like, like you play like pickup games of like basketball with people. Like, we'd all be online, then it'd be different people on, but from a big group of people, be like, oh, grab everybody, join in the room. Like, all right, then you'd like pick your teams, you'd play against each other, and then people'd come and leave. But it was like, like maybe like 20, 30 people, and then you'd only have 8 in a lobby. So some people would be waiting, and you'd be like, I want this guy on my team. I know. So it's like, you did make that community. And I think that's what was so cool about it. And like you said, like, nobody ever like said hateful messages or anything. And if they did, they would just like get rid of them, or like, and it wouldn't even be that often. It'd be like maybe once every like couple of months someone say something bad, or like, it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at all these old items in the game, and I'm like, well, why wasn't it like that back then? And I don't know if it's because everyone was playing, or at least presenting a character, right? Like, it wasn't like I wasn't playing as DANGHEESLING. It was like, we all had character names. So you only really knew from people what they told you, So I don't know. I don't, but it's just like, I would have to rack my brain. I can't think of like anything bad ever happening. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it was a different time, if people were just kinder online, if the people were online were just excited to be online and they didn't think to do that. I don't know, but it just wasn't like that back then. And I'm not trying to be like nostalgic and like rose-glassed about it, but I just don't remember any of that.
Yeah, well, I think part of it is kind of that it was more of a tight-knit community, because when it is more of a tight-knit community, I think people know each other more. It's like harder to get into that type of community. Like, it's probably very selective. There's not many people playing that specific game at that specific time, like often, compared to now, where like literally everybody, like millions of people, are playing these games now compared to back then. Yeah. So it's and every game had their own little community, but like it's where it was at an age where it was like maybe dial up and cable internet were on the verge of each other. So like some people still had dial up, some still had cable. So like it wasn't that easy to get online, and most people didn't even care about going online. Like, I just want to check my email if I go online or something like that. So it's I don't know. Like I said, I'm happy I grew up when I did. So let's talk about let's do a little switcheroo. Let's talk about how you got into YouTube. So what made you get into YouTube? Or did you do Big Brother before YouTube, or did you YouTube before Big Brother?
No, I did Big Brother before YouTube. And for me, like, I was trying to think about it because, you know, throughout my whole life, really, I've been, you know, and even more so as a kid, I've always been like really shy and just quiet. And that's how I am in like quote unquote real life now. Like, if, you know, I always tell people if we're at a party, like, I'm at the wall talking to one person at a time. I'm not like, you know, I'm just not like a real boisterous person. But like, so I don't know, you know, to getting into YouTube for me, like after going on reality TV, clearly, you know, a lot of things change. But for me, the quick, long and short of the story is I had a Twitter account, and before I went in Big Brother, I, you know, followed things I was interested in. And one of the people that I followed his name was Slasher, and he was like he was into esports and wrote a lot about esports. And he's really the only kind of person I could find on Twitter that was talking about Quake and stuff like that. And this is like early Twitter days. And so the first or second time I get off Big Brother was 2012. I was in Seattle for this like interview, like wrap up for Big Brother. And I'm like, hey, I sent out a tweet. I'm like, hey, I'm in Seattle. Would love to get, you know, a tour of Wizards of the Coast because I like Magic. And, you know, some people are like, yeah, right, that place is so hard to get into. And then this guy named Marcus Graham just sent me a DM. He's like, hey, like, call this guy, he'll get you in, blah blah blah. I liked you on Big Brother. And Marcus Graham ended up being, you know, DJ Wheat, you know, who's like the John Madden of esports, and, you know, went on to work at Twitch, and, you know, is heavily involved at Twitch. So I met him, and he got me hooked up at Twitch, and he's like, you should start streaming. So I started streaming, and then through streaming, I found Cobalt Streak. And I didn't even know that there was games on YouTube like that. I never knew that. Like, I don't know. I just never knew that existed. Like, streaming to me, it took me a while to even wrap my head around that you could put content on.
Were you streaming before YouTube then?
Yeah, I streamed before YouTube. And then once I found out YouTube, I'm like, oh, I want to do both. But I had no idea. So like YouTube had been around since like what, like 08, 09?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I always thought YouTube was like,
well, actually, maybe a little before that. Yeah, because I remember seeing YouTube videos in high school, and I was like maybe like 2005.
Yeah, I don't remember much about YouTube. It was just I felt like the only YouTube video I remember watching was Justine got like a 1,000-page bill from Verizon, and I don't even know how I
remember that.
That's like the only that's what I thought of YouTube. That was it. So
it's well, what did you stream mainly? Were you streaming games at the time, or were you just streaming yourself?
No, I streamed I had like a really bad Dell laptop, and I streamed Minecraft. Was the first game ever I streamed with my buddy because I wanted to play it. I never really, you know, knew what it was. And then I started streaming The Binding of Isaac. And then because I saw this guy who would wear a bunch of different hats named Cobalt Streak, and I liked the game, looked cool. And so from there I streamed like maybe once a week or a couple times a week, just randomly, no real schedule or anything. I'd play some console games or you know, old NES games, so nothing really serious. I just kind of enjoyed it.
I'm kind of curious because you said you're more of an introvert, but from my viewpoint, you do seem like more of an extrovert. So why do you say that?
Because it's the truth. Like I just prefer. I'm just an introvert. I prefer to be like, I don't like. It's not high in my priority list to go to a party with a lot of people, to talk with a lot of people about. I mean, I'm just gonna be brash like how their day is, you know, what they're, you know, eating or cooking. It's because it's just like, I don't know, if I'm hanging out with someone, it's because I want to hang out with them, and like we have a lot in common. And typically, you know, when you go to a large party, like there's not a lot of people that I'm around in my day-to-day life that necessarily are interested in the things I'm in. Now, of course, like you know, I'll put in an effort and be like, you know, I'll try to find common ground with everyone. But that's also takes a lot of, for me, takes a lot of energy, because it's not necessarily something that like I always enjoy doing. So it's a little bit different. If I'm like, if you and I have a lot in common and like I kind of trust you, then it's like easy. But I don't know. I always prefer to like, I'd rather hang out with, you know, myself, my wife, and like a couple that likes to play board games, and go like out with me and my wife and like 10 other couples and going out to like a restaurant and go get drinks, because it's just not, I don't find that particularly enjoyable, you know. But you know, as a married individual, it's a give and take, and I can find fun in every situation. It's just not necessarily always my preference to do that.
No, I understand, because I've always been an introvert, but I've noticed as I've gotten older, I've actually become more of like an extroverted introvert. Like I actually enjoy going out. I enjoy like eating at places, seeing other people. Like I enjoy all that. I enjoy going to like parties, mainly parties where like I know people.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go somewhere where I don't know anybody, but it always will get to a point where I'm like, I need to go home and be alone now. Like I need that alone time still. While some people, like Jesse, for example, I don't know if you know Jesse. I'm
Cox. Familiar with him.
He's like a lighthouse beacon of extroverted energy. That man can like talk and talk and talk, and I'll just hit a point. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, man. I would be like falling asleep, like ready to just like I'm out of here. But he can just keep. I don't know. That's probably why our podcast does well, because we kind of like the opposites.
Yeah, I heard a great metaphor for it once, and I feel like some people get their batteries charged by being around a lot of other people and socially interacting a lot and having a lot of conversation, and some people recharge their batteries by being alone or just chilling out. And I think kind of having a self-understanding of where you are somewhere in those two batteries is kind of a key to happiness. But also at the same time, like I'm not gonna fool, like I can turn it on and you won't know I'm turning it on, you know, or like people like I can do it, you know. It just takes a lot of energy and I have to be highly motivated to do it, you know. But it's just not my preference to do that, especially as I like value my time a lot more, as you know, I have 2 kids, and you know I have a lot of things I like to do. So it's like to eat time and then burn energy to, you know, socialize with a lot of people that you may know on an acquaintance level, like it's not really what I want to be doing.
Time is money, friend.
I mean, not just that, but time is just like you only got so much, right? You know?
Yeah. Well, it's the goblins in WoW always say that. They're like, time is money, friend. But it's true. Like time in itself is a currency. Like if you're getting, you know, if you have time to spend with people and do things you want to do, that in itself can be valuable, more valuable than money on some occasions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you're, you know, if you're trying to go out and like force yourself to be extroverted when you're not, or like extroverted people got to be introvert, like, you know, it's gonna, you know, it's a waste of time. Like you just got to embrace who you are.
Yeah.
And just kind of enjoy it.
But I will say, if people are listening to this right now and be like, yeah, I'm exactly like that, or very similar. I will say there's been a lot of times when, you know, and when your relationship is a little bit different, where you like, when you may not feel like it, but you know, and you get up for, you know, your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend, and you know, there's been a lot of times when I'm like, okay, like I really don't feel like it, and then I'll turn the juice on and be like, oh, I'm glad I went out and had a good time. Because sometimes I feel like as an introvert, I skew sometimes so far that way, where I'll say, you know, I don't necessarily want to do something where I probably could, and it'll probably be a good time, just because it's a lot easier a lot of the times just to be like, I don't really want to socialize. So I think there's been a lot of times for me too where, not that I'm trying to push the envelope, but I'm like, all right, hey, look, you know, it's not always, it can be a lot of fun. You just got to be more open to say yes sometimes too.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I definitely relate to that quite a bit. I guess the reason I also brought it up is because I didn't think someone like that would want to go on a a reality TV show like Big Brother. So like, why did you do that?
Yeah, I think for me, growing up, I loved Survivor. Like we would watch it as a family. And after Survivor, Big Brother was on. I love Survivor, and I watched. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like you get to play this game, and if you win, you get $1 million. This isn't Survivor, but I'm like, man, I'm not really cut out for the wilderness and that kind of stuff. But then I saw Big Brother, and it was like it's the same thing except without the wilderness, and it's just, you know, you lived in a house. So it took like kind of the physical hard elements out of it. I'm like, at like 14 or 15 or 16, I got obsessed with the idea of like, could I get on, and if I got on, could I win? And so I got really obsessed with that. And like, so I'd think about it all the time, and like what my audition video would be like. And I feel like that's kind of one of my Achilles heels, is I'll get obsessed with something, and then I will just keep going until it happens. Like, even if it takes years and years to happen. And so that's just
like a challenge.
Yeah. And so that just happened to be it. And, you know, it took me 4 years to get on the show. And when I mean, not to go into super detail, when I got there, I'm like, there's no way I can win this game. Like, I'm like way in over my head. And then, you know, so just to even get there, I was like fired up. But yeah, it's kind of like, it was just one of those things. And I feel that way about like streaming in YouTube. Like for me, when I started streaming in YouTube, is like, oh, people are like, why aren't you talking about Big Brother? Or you're the Big Brother guy, or, you know, what do you, it's just all reality TV stuff. And to me, that became kind of the second mountain for me to climb, is like, all right, hey, look, this is what I want to do. It's going to be extremely challenging to, number one, do it. And number two, like pivot away from just being known as the Big Brother guy, and like being taken not serious, because, you know, I don't think anything in our space is serious, but to at least be, you know, to have people come into the show. And I feel like, not that I've made it, because that's not the right answer, but when people started coming into the show or popping into the channel, like, oh, hey, I saw your TikTok about Tarkov, or people don't come in anymore, not as much people come in anymore asking about cause of Big Brother, where before that's all it was. And so that was kind of like, I think like that's the mountain I'm on now that I'm obsessed with, is just finding a way to make this all work and make it, you know, be the thing that I get to do.
I got disconnected.
Oh,
as you gave that amazing speech.
It's all good.
Hold on. Well, I'm still recording. Don't worry. Well, speaking of that, I kind of wanted to bring it up because I had a feeling that you didn't really enjoy being tied into Big Brother now. Like, I think you enjoyed it at the time, right?
No, well, I went through, I'll go through the roller coaster, right? So went on, like, going on, and was fired up, to winning. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. To then, like, really enjoying that experience, and doing it again a second time, really feeling like I gave everything I had to offer to the show, to the game, to the community, to the producer. Like, I left it all on the line. Like, I had nothing more to give. And then when I started Twitch, I'm not even gonna lie, I resented it a little bit, because like early on, I'm like, man, all these people are just here because of Big Brother. And I didn't really take it as like I should have, which was like, it's such a huge advantage, and to appreciate it. And now to come full circle, like now I'm so appreciative of the opportunity, and I really love it. And I embrace it now, because like, it's like anything, like I don't take it serious anymore. But now it's like, if someone comes in to ask me about Big Brother, number one, it's twofold. One, like Big Brother fans are they're probably like Blizzard fans. They're like extremely rabid, and like, you don't just semi-watch Big Brother. You're all in. There's like live feeds, and like, you're all in. People that watch Big Brother are all in. So if I can at least make that person laugh or answer their question, that's cool. And I don't take that lightly anymore. And then also, like, so if that's how someone finds the channel, like, to me, that's like an added benefit that is a tremendous advantage, that I never used to look at it like that before.
Yeah, no, I kind of understand that, because I mean, I kind of got known for WoW, and so, you know, I try to branch out from WoW. Like, I still enjoy it, but
like, why aren't you making more WoW video, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, you know, I want to be more of a personality than just the WoW guy, you know what I mean? So I feel like over time I've gotten better at doing that, but there's still a lot of people that know me from WoW. And so, like, even the show, it started as more of like a fishing WoW show of like, how do you get into WoW? How do you play WoW? Blah blah. And I've kind of evolved it to more of just a general interview show because I really just like learning about people. It's like what you said, where you prefer like one-on-one conversation. That's kind of how I am too. Like I just enjoy listening and learning about other people.
Yeah, because
so
like one-on-one, like you can actually get to know someone. It's not like you're not trying to flex in front of other people and be like, hey, did you see my new, 2012 Honda Accord? I don't care. But tell me who you are, like tell me like how you went from WoW Crendor to Crendor. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm interested in, not, stuff that people, I don't want to say generalize everyone, but people talk about in groups, people are just trying to impress each other where I could care less. I just want to know who you are and what you've gone through and what you enjoy.
Welcome, brand new subscriber.
Yeah, and everybody's got their own stories, the big thing. And I think when you're in a group, people get overshadowed by other people and things like that. But when you get one-on-one, you can actually
there's no hiding. Yeah. But also, if you're talking to someone one-on-one, at least this is how I feel. If you're talking to someone one-on-one, then they actually are into or care about what you're saying. Where sometimes in a group setting, people are just waiting for their turn to talk, or they may be in the group to talk to someone else or just be around someone else. You know what I mean? Where if you're talking to someone one-on-one, it's because you have an interest in that person and vice versa.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And that's actually one of the reasons I started this show as well, because there's so many interviews. I mean, I was interviewed by you on your show. Yeah. So, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and prior to that, like you and I, we played like board games together one night. I think like that's as much our interaction. We talked a little bit online on Discord, but like, but after that, like, I really talked about the following week or so after interviewing, like I just had a totally different perspective on you, how things are done online. I just learned a lot about you and from you from spending an hour talking to you, and versus like us in a, and there's nothing wrong with that. Us in a room with 10 other people playing board games, I guess it's just not going to happen, or not as likely to happen.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. That's how I learned that Rob Alpaca Patrol is a terrible person. This guy's the worst. But it's one of the reasons I was say I like doing these is like I would watch interviews of people, and a lot of the interviews I watch, it was like when like they just have a list of questions and they just want to go through their questions and then put up their video and get views because they're interviewing like a person that people want to see.
Yeah.
And I hated that because they'd be like, oh, what did you do growing up? And they'd be like, oh, I played this game. And they'd be like, cool. Next question.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I want to know more about the game they played. Like, there's never any follow-up or like anything, like, because they didn't care. They weren't actually having a conversation. And that's more what I want. I wanted this show to just be like two old men out in a boat fishing, like having.
What about two young men?
Yeah, two young old men out in a boat.
No, but I think that speaks to like a big thing that I'm about online, and really has been a key for me is just like being yourself and being authentic, right? Like you could see through that kind of interview in a heartbeat. You're like, hey, this person just wants views, clout, whatever you want to say it, versus like an actual conversation, right? Because you can just tell. And I'm sure you've met a lot of people that, throughout cons and everything you've done, you're like, oh, this person is authentic, or this person just wants to be around me because of X, Y, or maybe to meet Z or whatever, and that doesn't feel good, but it's something you can feel, or something I can feel. And so that's always really important to me, is just like the people I'm around, or the people I'm choosing to be around, or is it real, or is it, because like now, I mean, even starting like in 2012, it was still really early. I still think it's really early, but now it's like there's a lot of people vying to have an opportunity to do what we do, and are maybe willing to do more, less authentic things to do there, to get here,
Yeah, well, especially in this industry where it's like any entertainment industry, there's going to be people putting on fronts and putting on characters, or like even characterizations of themselves. Like I think a lot of people do that, where they're not being they're themselves, but they're like an amplified version of themselves.
Yeah.
And so you see them like kind of be like, yo, what's up, gamer, and stuff like that. And it's like, they don't say that to their family when they walk the house like, what's up, family? How's it? They just,
Yeah. And for me, it's more of like, how like authentic are they? So is someone with their audience, and then also with the people they interact with, like their acquaintances, or people they collaborate with. I don't know. I've just always been. I always feel like internally for me, like my IQ, like my intellect or my academic intellect is like maybe average, a hair above average, but my social intellect, like I just sniff that stuff out, man. And it's a really like, when someone's authentic, it's like a huge, like, I want to be around that person. And when someone's not, it's like, hey, it's nice getting to know you. And then I'll just never, I won't say it, but you won't hear from me ever again.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely very similar to that. You should
Welcome,
also
brand
try to
new
watch
subscriber.
Rick and Morty. Might raise your IQ a bit. Just a little tidbit of information.
Is it real? Like, I heard people swear by that. I've never seen it.
I've seen a couple episodes, but then it got so popular and became such a meme that I just didn't watch anymore.
Did you not watch it because it became a meme or because it became popular?
Probably both.
You don't seem like a and I don't mean to offend anyone. You don't seem like a hipster, like, and I don't use hipster in a bad connotation, but sometimes, like, when people stop liking something that they like because it became popular, like before it was popular, you know what I mean? I feel like if you like something, you like it, and then I don't know.
No, yeah. No, I'm if I like something, I like it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's but even then, like, I'm more of I watch sports, right? I watch football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I watch like HGTV on occasion. I'll watch like some YouTube videos, a couple Twitch streams. Like, I don't really like watch a whole lot. Like, honestly, and half the things I watch really is just sports. When I like think about it,
I'm not even that. Let me just float you just a little appetizer for you just to try one time on your TV palette. 90 Day Fiance. Have you ever watched it on TLC?
I have. I don't know if I've watched a full episode. I have been on TLC. I've seen the what do you call it? The pimple popper, the doctor, the like I'm addicted to eating like briar flint.
No, 90 Day Fiance. You got to give me one full episode.
All right.
It's just,
I'll give you a full episode.
It's the greatest turn your brain off TV in the world, and it's real. And the quick context is, there's someone in the U.S. who's marrying someone outside the U.S. and they're on a 90-day visa and they have to get married in 90 days. And how the people meet and what they go through in these 90 days is just unbelievable. The different stories you'll
now,
see.
Do you say, when you're saying it's real, is it like real, or is it like
no, it's real,
50% real?
No, it's real. You know, and like you'll see people like be in love from different countries and they'll speak through a translator through a translator app, and then you'll see people who be like, does this person really like this person, or is there something else going on? So it's really captivating because I think it's something that happens all the time, and I never would have thought it could be that interesting, but it's very interesting.
That's like TLC. Well, TLC's got a lot. Like, I remember I'd watch My Strange Addiction, and sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, I'm addicted to like smelling mothballs or something." And you're like, "Okay, like, are they though, or is this just made up so they can get on TV?"
Yeah.
But then there'd be like somebody that's like, "I've ate bleach since I was like 5 years old," and then you're like, "What?" And their like teeth are falling out. They like go to a dentist, and you're like, "I mean, I guess it's real because they're like getting dental."
Are you sure it's bleach and not something else?
Well, it's like that
rhymes with
powder.
That rhymes with smeth.
It's you never know.
Okay.
But listen, it's like I believe like half the stuff I see on there. Like, I'm like, all right, that seems pretty believable. And some of the other stuff, I'm like, this looks like they could be just taking a read. Like like Mari and like Jerry Springer and all. What was the one where like they'd be like, this woman's afraid of pickles, and she'd come out and be like, I hate pickles. And they like bring out a guy dressed as a pickle with a jar of pickle and say like chase her around. She's like, ah,
Yeah,
I don't know if she's really afraid of them or not. But
no, I assure you, 90 days is very real. But you won't believe some of the stuff that will happen.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
I'll see.
Just one episode.
All right. One episode.
I'll give you the episode too.
Okay.
And just for, if you're listening, you're like, oh, I love 90 Day. I'm gonna give him the first episode of Marcel.
Marcel.
Yeah.
Is that it's like season 1? You know,
I don't know.
season
It's the first season I watched. I think it was the most recent one. It was just tremendous. It was just amazing. It's about, so basically, it's a beekeeper from the U.S. falls in love with a beekeeper in Turkey, and and they use a translator to interact, like a translator app, like Google Voice.
All right, I'm in. That sounds perfect.
It's, yeah, just watch one episode. If one episode is all you'll need to know if it's for you or not.
All right. Well, I think that's probably a good place to end it. Hey, thanks for joining me on the old fishing with Crendor.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. I always said after you came on my podcast, like, I learned from you that, you know, there's a billion different ways to do what we do online, right? There's no, you know, I think you and I are polar opposites of how we operate, and you know, like from content to non-content, from schedule to no schedule. And I think at the end of the day, you know, you kind of open my eyes that there are so many different ways to doing it. And I kind of like, I don't know. I just think it's really cool how you operate, and you just do things your own way, and it works, and people enjoy it. And I feel like it's like a signal boost to anyone that's like, hey, you don't have to copy someone. Like, you know, who else is playing Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby, fishing with WoW, and then also, you know, what other meme games you're playing, you know, but then also playing some League of Legends. You know, it's just,
yeah,
just be who you are, and I think you're a walking example of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, everybody's got a different batting stance, but as long as you can hit the ball, that's all that matters.
That's right. You're not wrong.
So where can people find you if they want to see the DANGHEESLING?
Yeah, twitch.tv/DanGheesling. Live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern on Twitch, where you can expect to see clean, positive entertainment. You can see what we lack for in skill for the games we play. We make up for having a lot of fun, trying to put on an entertaining show, and always just making it at worst a positive experience for you, where you're gonna at least laugh and smile and feel good, and not salted off the face of the earth.
All right. Well, thank you again. I'll put all your shit in the comment section down below. Description box. And yeah. I never know how to end these, so I'm just gonna click stop recording.
Yeah. Hey, did you get my you know, Madden comes out in like less than 2 weeks? See that?
Wait, less than 2 weeks?
Yeah, I saw an Instagram post that said 6/1/2020 from the Madden account. What else could that mean?
No, it's never came out this early.
I know, but don't you think it would make sense for it to come out this early? No, everyone's waiting for something to play.
I literally just Googled it, and it says first look on June 1st.
I was but like, first look, does that mean we could play it?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, sometimes you can play a first look.
They did release it in July. Like if you got it on PC, it was in the July.
Yeah, I thought maybe we get lucky.
No, but yeah, maybe we'll do the Madden tournament. We have me, you, Rob, Sinvicta, Bear.
Yeah,
get the whole crew together.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you know him. Jay Wolves at my door loves Madden too. Do you ever met Jay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know he'd want to play too.
He's kind of gotten the short end of the stick in the chat because we turned it into like our podcast chat, and now it's like, you know.
He's cool. But all right, Crendor, thanks for having me on, man. And let me know what I can do to signal boost it whenever it comes out, and I'll retweet it or share it wherever I can.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, cool. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right,
later, buddy.
See you later.